Hi, this is Lee Warder from Redlaw Resources, and in this webinar we're going to be looking at how we can achieve top rankings for your website just using citations. So let's get right into this. So on the agenda for this webinar, I'm going to explain what citations are exactly, what the benefits you're going to derive from running this method, and what we can achieve, particularly in terms of rankings. How easy or difficult is it? What you need to do to prepare your website before running this campaign, how to find citation sites. I'm going to run through an example. We look at any downsides, and finally we look at a way of measuring progress using this method. So let's get right into it. What are citations? Well, very simply, they are mentions of your business on other websites. And that can take a number of forms, but here's a particular one. Here's my business, Redlaw Resources, my full postal address, and my telephone number. So that's a mention or a citation of my business, which can appear on other websites. And the issue about this is that Google can find these mentions of your business on other people's websites, and if they do that, they will count it as a sort of vote for your business. So if you follow that through, then you'll understand that the more votes that you get, obviously the better that Google likes it and the better your rankings will be. Mentions or citations can actually take a number of different forms. So let's look at those. Here's 4 examples I've given you. Same business, obviously mine. In the first example here, we've got Redlaw Resources and a telephone number. And below that, we've got my name and the business name. And top right here, we've got business name with the website address. And finally, at the bottom right here, we've got the website address, city, and phone number. These are all examples of citations or mentions of your business and other websites. Now, I'm only mentioning that because I'd like you to understand how this process works. As I say, the more mentions of your business elsewhere on the internet, the better it is for your actual rankings. So let's move on now. So the benefits of this method: it's very easy to undertake. You'll find that you'll get relatively quick results. That is, compared to other SEO techniques that I'll be tackling on my website. Quite often the case, I've been able to run citation campaigns for clients and for many of my own test websites, and got first page rankings without the need for any additional work. So in other words, you don't need to use any of the other SEO techniques that I run through on my training website. So it's relatively easy to get first page Google rankings for low competition keywords. And keywords are the main words that you use to describe your service or goods that you sell in your business. If you don't quite understand what keywords are, then drop me an email and I'll run through that for you. Don't forget, you can email me anytime if I haven't made anything particularly clear, or if you've got any further questions for me on this topic. I'm very happy to give you a response. Before we can undertake any citation campaigns, there is something that we need to do. We need to create a formal citation and stick to it. What do I mean by that? Well, if your company is called Joe Blogs Limited, it's the example that I've used here, you must not ever use Joe Blogs anywhere, because this confuses Google. It quite often sees Joe Blogs and Joe Blogs Limited as different businesses, So effectively you will lose any benefit that Google could have afforded you, which means you won't get as good rankings as you could have done. So if you are a limited company, and many of you listening to this will be, you need to check your online listing, particularly in places like Companies House website. Now if you are a limited company, obviously you'll have an entry in Companies House. There is a website if you didn't know, and your details will usually be available through that website, or your basic citation details will be available for the public. It's in the public domain. So Joe Blogs Limited with the address will be listed on the Companies House website. So whatever is in Companies House website for your business needs to be your formal citation. So it's quite likely that Companies House website will list you as Joe Blogs Limited. So that's the name that you need to use on your website and anywhere else that you've got control of. If you are Joe Blogs Limited and your Companies House entry doesn't say that, then you need to adjust that. Point is, Companies House website and your website need to agree. That's the crucial thing. As I said, Google doesn't like discrepancies or differences, and quite often they'll be seen as two or more different businesses. So it's essential that you have an agreed format, if you like, with yourself. So if we drop back to my formal let's drop back to this Redlaw resources with the address and phone number. That's the agreed format that needs to be seen on the internet wherever you are. If you are in contact with other companies like BT or any services that you use for your businesses, then please make sure that you have the same citation details with those companies as well. The issue is, you probably didn't realise, but a lot of these companies allow other websites to access their databases with your details on. So quite often these details will be proliferated throughout the internet, completely without your knowledge, but that's what happens on the internet. So again, if those details on your service bills differ from what we've just talked about, then you need to make changes to make sure everything is the same. In most cases you will have consistent data, so I'm just warning you of the pitfalls. Okay, so you need to set up your website using the formal citation. By that I mean, on your website you need to have Joe Blogs Limited with your full postal address and your telephone number, your business telephone number. Those are the essential minimum bits of data that Google likes to see. There's no reason why you shouldn't have those things on there. So word of warning, if you're running a business from home, don't use your home as part of the business, it's going to be limiting for you, because Google doesn't like to see businesses online, business websites online that don't have an address. So it's a bit of a negative for you if you don't do that. When we go through citations, when you go through the process of creating citations, a quick tip for you: it's helpful if you prepare a text or word processing file with all your citation data on it, and keep it on your desktop whilst you're going through the process. So for example, here's the sort of details that you need to have in this citation data file. So business name, your full business address including postcode, the telephone number, your business mobile phone if you've got one, fax if you've got one, your website address, your business email address, your first name, your last name, separate items. You're going to create quite often a username and password, so make those the same for all the citation sites. I'll explain more in a moment. A line or two describing your business and a list of your main keywords. Again, if you don't understand what keywords are, drop me a line and I'll help you through that. Don't worry about all the details of this. I've actually got a file you can download, and you just exchange all of this information for, where it says business mobile phone, you put your business mobile phone in there. So you can download that. It'll be below the video, so easy to do. Okay, so that's what you need to do to make things easy. Again, here is the information that I've just shown you. But as I say, don't worry, it's all in the list in a downloadable file, so you don't need to write anything down right now. So, finding citation sites. What sites do you actually submit to? Again, don't worry about that. I've actually got all that covered for you. I've got another text file which you can download, again below this video, which contains all the important citation sites. They are actually listed in order of priority, so start at the top, work your way down. And if you get through that entire list, it's not a huge list, you'll be doing pretty well, and I guarantee you will get good rankings just based on those sites. So I'm just going to show you now how simple the process is. So let me grab a typical citation site, Thompson Local. Now I'm sure all of you, the reason I chose this is because you'll be familiar with the Thompson name, Thompson directories, telephone directories, and they've obviously got an online website as well. So this is a typical citation site. It has a form on it for you to fill in. You submit that form. Eventually you will get a citation, a mention of your business on this citation site. If you like, it's a business directory. So you'll get a business directory listing. Google will pick that up fairly quickly because they're all over these sites every day normally. They'll find your new listing. It will be considered to be a vote by Thompson Local for your website, and it will give you a ranking boost. And obviously, as you can see, if you follow this through, the more business directories or citation sites that you get listed in, the more votes that you're getting for your website. So each of these is going to add to the ranking boost. So let's just pull up a text file that I mentioned earlier. Well, actually what I'll use is one I've filled in already with my own information. So let's get rid of that. So you'll see this is the same format, business name, my business, my full postal address, my telephone number, my mobile, fax number, website address, and so on. So if you have this text file open whilst you're going through the process of citation submission, you'll find it's a lot easier. So start filling in this form, enter your title, is a Mr. It's asking for my first name here. So over to the text file, highlight my first name. Now we can either do Control-C or right-click and copy. Over to the field, Control-V or paste, right-click and paste. In goes my first name. Same with surname. Highlighting the text file, I'm going to do Control-C, over to surname, Control-V, paste. Email address, it's here, and paste, there we go. So it's a simple matter of copying the relevant bit of information into the form, and that's how simple this is. So the beauty of it is that Google loves all this stuff, and it will get you a ranking boost. So do the same with each citation site. Now, occasionally you may find that there's a bit of information asked for. For example, down here we've got type of business, e.g. plumbers. Now I've added, no I haven't added, in fact, yes I have, down the bottom here, I've added in an additional field for the business sector that I'm in. This particular website is IT training. But if you come across anything like that which you haven't got in your text file, just add it for later on. Here's another example. At the bottom, number of employees. Obviously you can add a number, whatever it is, 5 say, to the bottom of your text file and save that. Ready for use when you get asked that again. So fill in the form, click the button at the bottom, says submit your free listing, and you're away. Now these forms are going to differ with each citation site, so you're going to get asked different things. Some of them will allow you to enter a lot more information, for example the number of services that you offer, the different descriptions of those services, goods. You can upload your logo. There's all sorts of things that you get asked for occasionally. So obviously enter as much information as you can. I do recommend doing that because the more information you supply, the more those sort of business directory entries or citations get clicked on. Okay, so simple form filling. Let's minimize this. So we've seen how to undertake that. So are there any downsides with this method? Well, actually there aren't, not really. It's one of the simplest methods I employ to get clients onto the first page of Google. It's definitely Google approved, so there's nothing black hat or spammy or anything else about this method. Google specifically looks into citation sites or business directories looking for new businesses. So if it finds you, it's a vote, it's an approval. Now, a couple of warnings, not real big downsides, but just minor things. Some citation sites may take a long time after you've submitted your details to actually publish that data. Some of them it's instant. As soon as I've hit, enter my information, it's instantly available. But some of them can take 6 weeks or more. So just be prepared for that. You usually get notified how long the process takes if it does take a long time. So just make a note of the citation site and how long they say it takes. So make a note. If it does say they take 6 weeks, check 6 to 8 weeks down the line. If they haven't published your data yet, do another submission. It's not unusual these things happen because obviously a lot of people are doing it, and some sites are a bit behind on getting their information up to date. Probably the biggest negative to this process is that you may get 1 or 2 sales calls. Now obviously when you're submitting your business data, you're also submitting your email address and your telephone number. So some of these citation sites use that as an opportunity to try and upsell you on bigger entries in their directory. What does that get you? Well, my advice to you is not to go for any of these services, certainly not at the moment. There are 2 sides to these citations. The main side, as far as we're concerned, is that Google finds these listings in these citation sites and you get a ranking boost. That's what we are after. The second, or the other side of this, is that obviously these citation sites are business directories, so people go to them looking for services or goods. So they may be looking for a plumber or a new carpet or whatever it is, and they will look up those services in their area. So that's traffic or potential traffic that you may get from these directories. However, in my experience, the traffic is usually very low. So my advice to you is not get caught out in these sales calls and start paying for an upgraded business entry, because I find that most of these places are simply not worth paying for. I've been monitoring this for a long time, and I've yet to see anywhere that gives me or any of my clients extra traffic in that way. A lot of them do send you regular emails saying, you know, well, X people clicked on your entry over the last couple of weeks or whatever. So that's useful information. So that's how I know, as well as checking my traffic logs as to where my traffic's coming from. And generally speaking, I don't get them from citation sites. You only usually get one or two cold calls like that. Don't worry, you're not going to get dozens. I've never had that in all the time that I've been doing this. Usually it's only one, maybe two at the most for each website that so each business that I own that I submit, or any client that I submit. So don't be afraid to say no. No matter what they say, there's generally no big advantage for paying for an entry or an improved entry. All the stuff that you're going to be doing is totally free, so you don't need to worry about paying for anything. Okay, if you want me to expand on that, if I didn't make that very clear, again, just drop me an email. So we've done all this work, you're doing it on a daily basis, and it's a good idea to start measuring progress of some sort. Because obviously you need some feedback on how well this method is working for you. So the keywords that I talked about earlier, if you get, say, 5 of your main keywords, then you can go into Google and get the rankings for each of those keywords. In other words, you're going into Google search engine, you're typing one of your main keywords, carpet cleaning, for example, carpet cleaning Bristol, whatever it is. Usually make the keywords a local thing, so you're adding the town name after the service or goods that you're selling. And check where you are in Google, so you need to go through the listings page by page until you find your website. Whatever you do, don't do this more than once a week. I know it's very compelling to keep checking where you are and how you're progressing, but really it's a huge time waster. So don't do it. We've all been caught up in this in our lives at one point in time. But generally speaking, Google changes its ranking algorithm every few minutes, so rankings go up and down literally by the minute. And one of the issues that you'll find is that you'll get a Google dance. And the Google dance is where your website has received a number of new votes. It starts to go up in the rankings and then it will drop dramatically. That is completely normal. It's, for some peculiar reason, it's the way that Google's algorithm works. It will recover and it will usually do a lot better. So, no more than once a week, okay? Make that promise, please. If you want to make your ranking checks easier and quicker, you can use a free service that automates ranking checks. It's a free service that I use for a lot of my test websites. Basically, I just stick in my main keywords and the website into this online service, press a button and it checks all the rankings for me. So if you check below this video on my website, you'll see a link to that free service. It costs absolutely nothing. You can enter as many websites and a fair number of keywords as well. A good service to use. And as always, you need to take action. So even if you only submit to one citation site a day, that is progress, but you have to keep at it. One site a day, that's all you need. That's 5 a week. And in a month you've done 20. And I can promise you this, that 20 citation sites will get you significant ranking changes. Okay, so don't forget to download any additional resources below this video. All the links are there for you. If I haven't explained anything very well, or you need any further help on what I've talked about today, please email me. It's totally free. I'm very happy to help anyone. And if you'd like to, you can donate. So I hope this video was useful for you, and I look forward to hearing from you.